TV. Welcome to another one. I want to thank all the new subscribers, everyone who's liked anything on this channel, left a comment, just for being here. We're gonna make it go big, I feel like. So, as you can see in the title, today's subject is riding club or motorcycle club. And we don't have to name any riding club or any motorcycle club. And when I say we, I mean me and the viewers. All right? So, all this is my opinions. If you're going to try to use it against me in any kind of court, it's a made up story for entertainment purposes only. All right? So, an RC is a riding club. These guys are more family based. They're going to be doing campouts. They're going to be doing charity runs, stuff that the motorcycle clubs do as well, but more on a family level, I feel, with less rules. So you all probably have family clubs and RCs near you just as much as you do a 1% motorcycle club. What is also very trippy about what's going on with these two worlds is right now the RCs kind of have a real tight knit, they're close, little community, family setting type clubs. And the big MCs are like, they're big and they got the numbers, but they're not as tight knit in that kind of way. They are tight knit to where they can know each other and make something happen. I'm just saying, as in going to each other's house, knowing each other as family, barbecues, yada yada, when it's not just a party club situation, right? So this is a more chill live. I'm just getting to know how to use this YouTube thing. I finally got to change shirts. If you've seen in all my dang videos, I've had the same one on. I've had a crazy few days. I'm going to get into the comments right here in a minute, but I'm supposed to be in Washington right now, and I might have been able to get a few real good interviews up there, or just, show you guys some things, but I get halfway to LA because that's where I'm going to was going to fly out of with my family, and forgot my luggage. And I didn't have enough coin to go up there and play the Ross game or the Wally World. So, hey, here I am. I figured I'd take this time I drove back home by myself, and I'm just going to give you guys some good videos, at least this one. So, let me get in the comments right here. We got Bigfoot. What's up? Herb Dizzle. I've been in a motorcycle club, yes, but like I said in this one, we're not gonna say I've failed motorcycle clubs as well. So I'm not gonna slam any names in this one. I'm just gonna keep it on RC MC. What are some differences that you guys see in the comments? And sometimes I think, and if the shoe fits, wear it, because I'm not saying any names or any names. So these RC guys, they might get like a false, like I said, there's family versions and they're real tight knit like that. And then there's these kind with like maybe a false security blanket because they talk to somebody from a motorcycle club, and maybe that makes them feel more important than just your regularly old normal riding club guy, right? And then he's going to go around thinking he's on his way to being in an MC, and it's just not a good look. Yes, guys, I forgot my luggage, my backpack with all my goodies in it, everything I was going to need for the trip. I realized I didn't have it, and I just wasn't about to jump on a plane without all my stuff and go through all that. Like I said, I didn't have no cash. Enough cash to be playing that game. So what are some differences that you guys think are an RC from an MC. I'm definitely going to say right now that MCs have stricter rules. MCs might have a little more serious person, and a lot of people from MCs might have started out around an RC. And RCs and support clubs and things like that are like a breeding pool for the bigger clubs. Without them having to risk getting involved, they can watch from afar and go, okay, that guy from that group, he's pretty cool. I like how he represents himself, all that. So we're gonna reel him in, right? Let's see. Yeah, man. So I don't see anybody putting, what RCs, maybe they see the difference. I'll keep going with it. An MC is going to have more mandatory events that you're going to need to be at, maybe more expensive dues. And an RC is going to be something that throws community parties, man. There's a kid in the hospital or that has something that means he's not going to be around much longer, right? They're going to go visit him, rev up their bikes, bring him a present. They do all kinds of good stuff, and shout out to people that do that on both sides. But an RC is going to be doing stuff like that, is just like, that's what they do. An MC, I feel like, might be doing it to make everybody think they're, to be the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Like, oh, look, we gave out some turkeys, don't think we're bad. We did a little bit for the community, right? And some of them mean it. So that's just my opinion. I wanted to jump on here and interact with you guys today, man. Shout out to Deathcore. Shout out to Rolling Free TV. That's me. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I'm jump on here. And shout out to prestigious_labs. Everybody go follow them on Instagram. Shout out to Vegas Profile Stories for putting me on to YouTube and really teaching me how to do this. Talk to myself in a room for an hour. Well, I'm really talking to you guys. You know what I mean? So I just appreciate everything. I feel humble. I see the videos going big. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to Splinter from Prison POV. And the short that we did today was funny. I jumped on there and forgot the name of my own channel. Imagine that. So let's see if I can think of a story that involves an RC and an MC. Do they do runs together? What is the protocol for an RC when they run into an MC? We talked about that on Rules of the Road and Biker Code yesterday, man. So I believe, when these guys are rolling in a pack and they see a big 1% club in front of them and they know that they are now bumping into an MC, that if they know them, they can ride up close and see if they're allowed to just join the end of the pack or just keep a distance back, keep your eye on them. And if you need to pass, make sure that you're allowed to do so, because I know y'all have seen the videos of these guys. You might think it's silly. People get upset about, don't pass me without asking. It's not, I don't know. It's a rule of the road. It's not silly. It's just, that's how it is. So a riding club, for those just coming in asking, is they're going to say RC. They're going to be a one-piece patch. A big club is going to be a three-piece patch. A top rocker, a middle, and a bottom. And so it's going to say the name of the club, their mascot, and where they're representing for. An RC is going to be like a circle or a shape, or it's not going to be, it's going to be a circle or shape, and it's not going to really claim a state. It's just going to be, it's going to say their name, their logo in one patch, and probably RC off to the side in that patch. That's why I made it like the RCs are nicer and they're cool. They do a lot of stuff for the community, man. And even it could be an ex 1%er that just wants to calm his life down and go be, doesn't want to lose the lifestyle, but doesn't want to be too intense. So he goes to an RC. And the polar opposite, like I said earlier, is the RC riding club guys. They get around the 1% clubs and then they go, hey, it's time to graduate. I've got a Jixer and I don't care who you are. I'm not going to ask anyone if I could pass. That's crazy. Hey, that's it's your own, you're a man. Rolling free TV, right? You can do anything you want. Like anything I say on here is just my opinion, my voice, and there's always going to be that guy on the crotch rocket, me, and you know, you ain't gonna catch him if you're mad on your Harley, right? So it's whatever. There's some skilled Harley riders out there that can go pretty fast on those things too, man. I myself have a bike. I have two bikes. One's paperwork's jacked up, and one is in pieces right now, but hopefully I'm going to change both of those things soon. So what's everybody getting into this weekend, man? Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. We got farm team. Good luck passing me unless it's something bike. That's what I'm saying. Catch me if you can. Yeah, well, there's just rules of the road and biker code, man. You always expect those. Ying, ying, ying. They're gone. They're gone. It's all good. So that's one thing I wanted to get into. I can get into a little more about my MC knowledge. I have more MC knowledge than RC knowledge. I lived in the clubhouse for one of the top 4 clubs for about 3 or 4 years. So I've seen a thing or two. And that's what I'm saying. It's just a lot of rule differences. I'm thinking that like an MC is like way more structured, way more rules, way more money it costs to do it. And it's just a lot bigger responsibility. And that to me, as you can see, I don't have any patches. It doesn't seem fun to me, RC or MC. I just want to be myself these days. But as I look now from an outsider's perspective looking in, from an outside perspective looking in now, I think that some of these RCs are close and they have the family bond. And it's just a cool thing. I respect it. And it's neat, you know, they hang out, they do their thing. They don't have to go under too many crazy politics. Can you quit an MC without repercussions? Very good question. So it all depends on where you're at and how far you are in the program. In an RC, you'd probably definitely be able to step away without repercussions. In MC, it's going to be 50-50. If it's like honorable discharge, right? Like the military or something, if it's something that's understandable by everybody and like you got to go, I feel like either way, when you leave, you're done. And it doesn't matter if you're out good or out bad because you're not one of them anymore. So the repercussions would be all about the way you do it. So if you're just going out, like I said, because all of a sudden you fell off a roof and you're not going to be able to ever ride a motorcycle again and just really can't afford to provide, or, you know, it's not looking good, they're probably going to just put you out good. If you're like a soldier and you've just had enough and you want to go out good, they'll probably just put you out good. If you're a knucklehead and you've been doing just dumb stuff nonstop, or you're disrespectful in the way you do it, you might have something coming, right? You might have something coming when you leave. And if you ain't leaking when you're leaving, welcome back, right? But I just don't see that no matter which way you leave, you're not going to be going and hanging out because they're not going to want you around or you're not going to be there. But yes, it's possible. I think it's possible. Half and half. and half the time you're going to get your ass whooped and your money took. And then the other half, you're going to tell everybody later, man. And it depends on what stage of the game you're in, right? A hang around could leave any of those situations. A hang around could leave any of those situations because he's just hanging out. He's just seeing where he belongs on all this, if this is for him, if he's going to have the time for it. Come on, it says it in the name, hanging around. A prospect, depending on how close you were getting, and if everybody really liked you and didn't want you to leave, and you might have a harder time stepping out, or they'll tell you don't leave. And if you're a member, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot more. You might get hands laid upon you. So that's my answer to that question. Yeah, man. Me and Splinter had fun doing that collab earlier. Check that out. Check out Splinter at Prison POV. Check out Vegas Profile Stories. Check this out. I thank you guys so much for everyone who's liked, subscribed, and come to this channel. I will have people on. You can see on some of the videos that I post here, I do better with somebody to boomerang and slingshot off of. We can go back and forth. Right now, I'm just, like I said, it's been a sporadic 24 hours. I saw some friends. I missed a flight. I had some good food. I gave my baby boy a hug goodbye. And my wife a big wet kiss. And now I'm just here, man. I'm at the pad. I wanted to focus on this. Throw you guys something. So when I point at you, I don't got 3 fingers pointing back at me. Right? And I appreciate all y'all, man. My channel is getting up there. I'm going to be on here chopping it up. These are things that go through my mind. RC or MC? What looks better these days? I don't see a lot of, the only time I see dudes in RCs getting in trouble is when they're hanging out with dudes in MCs. And I just think the MC world has just come so far from where it originally started that something's got to give. Something's got to give. And there are a handful of guys doing it right, and there's a handful of guys doing it wrong. But I definitely didn't fit anywhere on that spectrum somehow. But I definitely fit right in here with y'all, telling you the stories I've learned, man. I prospected for a major club for 5 years. Take it whichever way you want. If you think you could do it better, go do it. I'm here. I'm sharing some experiences, some opinions. I've met some friends along the way, and I've met some people that probably don't like me. So we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm trying to think of maybe a little more RC, MC stuff. I already told y'all pretty much what I could think of. 18 minutes worth. Breeze, have you ever met any 8-1 from up north while you were prospecting? Of course. I prospected up north. So I definitely met a lot of... That's a crazy question. If you're prospecting for a club, you're going to meet members from that club from all areas. All right. That's another thing. And RC might be something that's like in your state, around your state, maybe a state over. And MC, big ones are like all over the world. So you're going to constantly be running from clubhouse to clubhouse, traveling coast to coast, state to state, coast to coast, like butter and toast. And you're going to meet a lot of people. And you should really try hard to remember their names because they're going to be offended. North of the border is another thing too. So look, does an RC get kicked out from borders because these big 1% MCs get looked at as certain types of people, and the law enforcement in certain states or countries will stop you right there and say you're not coming in here because of your affiliation with this motorcycle club. So that's another very big point to look at. You're going to have some borders closed. So unfortunately, in my time, I did not meet anybody above the border, even though they were right there, just because the fact that I couldn't go over there, they couldn't come over here. So I've never seen an RC have that problem. That's something to think about, That's what I'm throwing this out about. And that's why it's so crazy, is because I think MCs in a way started out as RCs because there was no riding clubs and there was no motorcycle clubs. They all had some passion that they brought together and saw other dudes doing it or did it themselves, and they were on motorcycles. And then it turned into a bigger than any of them could ever imagine it was going to. And what the heck would they think if they could see it now? But I respect the RC scene, man. I appreciate a lot of the RC guys. I've met so many RC guys. It made me have to do this episode. Shout out to them. Don't get too big for your britches. Shout out to all the MC dudes I've met down the road. You know, don't be too mean to people in the RCs. And everybody just ride free. This is what this channel is about. Rolling free TV. I done the MC thing back in the 70s, and I like doing my own thing. Maybe riding with a friend or family at a time, but I logged many miles solo and found that to be my favorite. Is it easier? Okay, first of all, 101 Turkey HD. That is a great statement. You did it sort of like I did, right? I had my time. I enjoy being solo and with my family now. I enjoy being able to have any kind of friends I want as well. Once you pick an MC, that's going to draw a line, and that's going to divide who you're allowed to talk to, who you're allowed to hang out with, where you're allowed to go, and all that. And even when you're an RC, if you're not too careful, you start getting controlled by an MC, whether you know it. That you become a puppet, right? Without even knowing it. We've gotten into a lot of cool little things on here so far. I like the questions you guys ask and the things it makes me think of. Okay, see, that's what I didn't also put in here. You know, there's law enforcement MCs and there's also military MCs. That might be something to throw in on this episode, but I didn't put it in the dang title. But I would think of a military MC as a little more serious than an RC. And I don't know where they go on the 1% or military, you know, but I know either way, if they're in the military, they're good people. Whatever they're doing stands for a good thing, and I support good things. And a law enforcement MC, I really don't want to have anything to do with. You know what? But they can go do their own thing as well. I don't care. And there's one more. Oh, there's motorcycle ministries as well. And man, we can get into that. You know, these are guys that maybe once lived the lifestyle or still are struggling with, and they're just trying to do the hokey pokey and turn themselves around, or they've turned themselves around. And it doesn't mean they're someone to be played with or someone to be taken for weak, but they just, you know, their faith is in the Lord, and their motorcycles, they wear patches. I always thought it was a little strange, but now I understand their point, you know. It's just, hey, they're doing their thing. What is the average prospective time? For an RC, I would say about 6 months if I had to guess. I've never tried to join an RC. They're probably a little more lenient, but for a club, if you're just walking in off the streets, I'm going to say it's probably going to, if you're just walking in off the streets or in an event and you don't know anybody, this is where it's going to start depending on it's all about who you know and how you present yourself. So it could take you, I would say 3 years from walking up to a barbecue or an event, or you saw a flyer somewhere and decided to go to your first party, until you're wearing their patch. At least 3 years. Right. And that's why I'm trying to keep this episode, like, I'm not saying any certain MC or RC. This is for everybody and anybody. And if you don't like it, don't look. And I appreciate everybody that's come in here, man. We've been on here for 25 minutes. I don't know how long I can go by myself. I was feeling it. I've thrown out some answers. We'll see how long you guys can keep me going, but I'm going to be happy with anything past 30 minutes on this one. Yeah, there is an old military MC out there. I'm not going to say their name, and they are as outlaw as you can get. Yep. And then he says that the MC in his region rules with an iron fist. So that's where you get into, even though, I'm trying to say all these differences between RC and MC. If you're in an RC, you're going to have to you're going to need the blessings from one of the big clubs in your area. And then you're going to think that you and that club run everything. But it's so up in the air right now that, hey, there's 3 out of 4 1% clubs in every big neighborhood that I know about. And none of them are playing around. So you're going to answer to one of them. And if you don't, and some of them are just going to come up and say, hey, you guys need to either, be a support club for us, change your colors to this, or just knock it off. Or you're going to get lucky enough where they're just like, hey, do your thing, come to our parties. But very rarely are they going to be around you and not telling you what to do. So it's better just to stay off far away from them if that's not what you're doing. Okay, what about motorcycle cults? I'm definitely going to be doing a video on the motorcycle cult I started. I don't even know if I can say the name on here. If people know, they know. And that was something I tried to do, reinventing the wheel. And it's not that great of an idea because I just wanted to do a loophole so that I didn't have to answer to anybody. And it still ended up like we had to answer to one of the big clubs, even though we could tell ourselves we weren't or whatever, but we ended up answering to one of the top clubs, and most of the guys ended up going to that club. So that's what happens. Yeah, and then you got to think about all this. In an RC, you're going to be looked at as doing good things for your community. You're not going to be looked at as a target from your local police department, because when you put on the big patch, it's now a target. So whatever problems you got with anybody or this side or that side, when you pick one and stand for it, those problems are going to intensify by 100. That's the way of the road. Biker code, right? I remembered another biker code thing when I was driving today too, but it's all gone. I'm starting to wear down after driving to LA and back. I miss my fam. I'm happy to see everybody on here, man. I'm going to cut it loose here in a few minutes. Outlaw equals knowing how to render to Caesar without getting bent by Caesar. Building his stairway to heaven. RC's just like the biker culture, but not smart enough to truly be sovereign outlaw. See, that's a rude statement at the end, because is it that they're not smart enough to go be that, or they're smart enough to not go be that right now? Because it is a very hard thing to do. And I don't want to be negative about either way that people pick. More power to you. We're only here for so long. Do what makes you happy. My bike should be on the road soon, man. If anybody wants to donate to me, get at me at the background. I have Facebook as Breeze Perello, Instagram Berserker Breeze, and get at me at either one of those. I have Zelle and I have Chime. I believe my Chime is Dog Off His Leash. It's under Peter Perello. So, just get at me at one of those if you want to shoot the donation. I'm not going to sit on here and e-beg like you want me to, but I know if some people got their cup overflowing and want to share, I could use it right now. We're getting this channel up and running. Shout out Deathcore. Shout out Prestigious_Labs, man. Shout out Vegas Rick from Vegas Profile Stories, man. Shout out to Splinter from Prison POV. Shout out to all of you guys. If anybody has a shirt you want me to wear on here, something you want me to promote, You know where to get at me, dog. I really appreciate you guys, man. I can't thank you enough. If you listen this far, please hit that like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Go ahead and leave a comment after it uploads, man. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see more of, man. Thank y'all. Peace.